Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, also known as WeightWatcher.com. Oh, Weight Watcher, Cape Cod woman. I always screw that up. Anyway, hello, welcome to my channel if this is your first view. So yesterday, oh my goodness, I need 40 CEUs to keep my license in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and so I had to go to a CEU training, and it was nutrition and wellness in recovery. And I work in a homeless shelter for mothers and children in with substance abuse issues and trauma as well. And so this woman was singing to our Weight Watcher choir for sure. And although it was, a lot about the nutrition of a newly clean and sober person and the damage they do to their brains and their bodies, while they're using, and they're so young. The rest of it was just earmarked just for us. It was so fabulous. This woman had probably 5 or 6 degrees after her name, including a PhD. She knows her stuff for sure. And she's a teacher at a college in Boston. And she teaches self-care, lifestyle, food. I mean, it's everything that I want to be when I grow up. And so she brought up some very, very interesting points. And I realized that she talked about Halloween candy. And she said, now she's got grandchildren. And here comes Halloween. And it's that whole thing about giving out candy. And it's so she spends her entire life and teaching and book that will be coming out is all about, not having things like candy and what the damage that sugar does. Sugar is just, when she got done, it's not, fat doesn't make you fat, it's the sugar. And having the sugar that converts into fat in your body. I mean, it's it's like the story behind why we come to Weight Watchers to lose weight. We don't necessarily know what we eat, what it does to our body, but we certainly know from the scale and from our clothes. And so she just has this dilemma. And it's I had the dilemma too at Easter time a few months ago. And I wrote checks with cards. That's it. No candy. I mean, it just feels so oogly. It's like smoking crack with your son. It's just it just goes against everything that we learn here and we do for ourselves and what we might have done for ourselves when we were eating without anybody's permission. So it was a very, very interesting training, and it was at the Westin, and it was the classiest, nicest hotel I've ever been to. And the people that put it on are partially the state and partially an institution that does educational training. So they must collaborate and have grants and funds and everything else. Well, it was so interesting because usually when you go to these things, you've got the supreme sauce, which is that white sauce they put on all these things like chicken and fish, which is basically salt and chemicals and, very non-healthy, non-Weight Watcher. And so at this point, it was almost like they must have read the agenda or something or just been warned. They had the most delicious, all those baby greens salad. They had 2 types of dressing. I'm thinking one was creamy Italian, one was the vinaigrette. And they had platters of cold to add to your salad, cherry tomatoes, red onions, asparagus, banana peppers. It was so elegant. It was so wonderful. I didn't see a white roll in the place. They even served breakfast and a lot of healthy choices, tons of fresh fruit cut up. So I was obviously, in heaven. And then they had steamed green beans and carrots, and both, it's the carrots were this long, strips, just the size of the width of the green bean. And I just, took tons of those and put them on top of my salad. Now I brought with me one of my typical salads with the Bolthouse dressing on it and the romaine. And so I had that and I built on top of it. So I didn't need their dressing. because I knew what I was putting on mine. And that's one of my suggestions when I do these videos, what to bring to weddings and other things, events, cookouts, and everything else. And it's like taking care of yourself, right? So I knew what was in the Bolthouse, which is 2 tablespoons for 1 point. And then I do a half a tablespoon of olive oil for 2 points. And I didn't even have all of that. It was like half that amount. Actually, it was a leftover salad from the night before. And I actually didn't finish my big salad, can you imagine? And so I built on that with their greens and the asparagus, the green beans, the carrots. Anyway, it was delicious. And I hear my cats fighting in the background. I've let the alpha male in, and it's not going well. But anyway, so yeah, it was interesting looking around the room and hearing the comments. And even at this professional thing, it was like she's such a professional that you turned your cell phone off, instead of one of those where they have to tell you 6 times and the phone and somebody's phone still goes off. It was like so professional, so highly done. It's just amazing. And so she played a video from TED Ask all about when we look at food, what it does to our brain is what it does to a drug addict. The brain lights up when we see certain foods. She used chocolate as an example. And what it does to us and how we start, how our salivary glands start, doing what they do and how the parts in our brain light up. And it's like, it was just so amazing. And then they had another man on, and his name is Matt. And actually, I have seen the interview. I think it's Sugar, Salt, Fat. He had the book. I've read it. And it was an interview with him, and it's all about the food industry and what they do to us and the billions with the B that they spend on all of these foods. And so she was very funny. Her husband is a therapist as well. I don't know how many initials he has after his name. But he went to Trader Joe's, and he was shopping for her, and he thought that if he brought back these chia chips from Trader Joe's, that they would be, good. They're good for you because first of all, it's from Trader Joe's, and second of all, it's chia chips. And she said she ate the entire bag. And she said she felt so duped because it's like even Trader Joe's, using the right ingredients, they somehow can have their healthy with air quotes, be as addictive as the Doritos. So it was just a fascinating thing. I wish she was on YouTube. I'd tell you the address to go to below. But so I got a lot out of it. And so anyway, as I looked around the groups that were with me, some were overweight and couldn't have been more bored. And obviously just fulfilling the CEU credits that they needed. And some of them were using their cell phones, they were texting and doing the, that thing where they're like looking at stuff. To me, that's so disrespectful. But anyway, just saying. But for somebody like me, I was swaying in the choir. I'm telling you, to hear her talk about the fruits and vegetables that we tout all the time, and she talks about, meat and going for grass-fed and how it used to be in the old days and how now, cattle don't even, eat grain on the, the green grass that we picture them eating and how. So it was all about the choices. And I guess, a lot of my videos have been about the better bad choices and the better choices and the evolving. So anyway, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I learned a lot. It confirmed a lot that we learn here, we learn on other websites, we learn about the fruits and the vegetables. And so I just loved it. I just got a lot out of it. But for me, of course, the observing other people that aren't foodies like you and I are, it's just very, very interesting to see these, kind of bored, kind of there, kind of engaged. And she was just hoping, me, she was just hoping to, spark somebody there. And I said, planting a chia seed or a flax seed? And they all laughed. But she said, yeah, planting the seed, to maybe you won't think of me now, but a few years from now, when you have a health event and they tell you that you have to, have no sodium in your diet and you're totally addicted to it and all of the foods that you eat, maybe you'll remember this, this training that you came to. And, a couple of us remarked that, this is more for me than it is for the clients, because the clients aren't there yet. We have to meet them where they're at, and where they're at is, the white processed foods. And she actually interviewed, she did 52 residentials, of which I'm one. And 80% responded, and then she interviewed 10 directors. My director was not one of them. And one of them, so they sent their menus, and one of them actually, like, they weren't embarrassed, they served soft-boiled eggs and donuts for breakfast. Can you imagine? She was also talking a lot about juices and smoothies and the difference between smoothies and juicing. And of course, when you juice, there goes all the fiber. And when you have smoothies, there's still some fiber left, but really the blending did a lot of the work that the fiber would do inside of you. And she said, be real careful with these green drinks that you see in stores. And, it's a whole market out there of, we'll do the work for you and you can just buy this for $3.59. Make sure you read the back, because she talked about the sugar that's added to these things now. And she said, try to keep your grams between 5 and 6. And she did a thing on yogurts too, and all the grams of sugar in yogurt. And they did have Dannon yogurt there, and I guess it had 17 grams of sugar. And I do have a video quite a few back that I did a few months ago, and it is a comparison about yogurt. So if you look that up, it might be in like what I call a grocery haul, but sometimes it's the food I already have. So check that out, because the grams of sugar, and like she said, the sugar that converts to fat inside your body. So even though it's a transition to go from the Dannons and the Yoplays and even the Stonyfield and the sugar they put in their Yo babies, oh my goodness, feeding little babies all these grams of sugar. It's like turning them on. So I raised my hand and I said, how about baby formula? Can you imagine the sugar in that they use to kind of get their palates addicted to sugar right from birth? Shameful. The food manufacturers are shameful. And Philip Morris is the biggest food producer. What else do they produce? Think about that. All right. I'm getting away from the lectern. Enough of my rant. Anyway, that was it. That's just my little review and rant from my super duper training. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep doing what you're doing. Tell me what you're doing below. Do you juice? Do you, not the steroid kind, do you do smoothies? Tell me below, and I'll be interested to hear. So anyway, have a wonderful day. This has been Sarah. Until the next time, bye-bye for now.